George Bähr. Let's read a little bit about him. So he was born on the 15th of March, and he was a German architect, born in 1666 and died in 1738. This was the man. Let's read a little bit about him. He was born into a poor family in Fürstenwalde, now a part of Geising, Saxony, the son of a weaver. The village priest, however, helped pay for his education. I don't know if I pronounce well with that A with that those two little dots above whose name I always forget. I don't know how to pronounce. Anyway, you probably can. The one who you could see the text was able to become a carpenter's apprentice in Launstein in Saxony. In 1690, he went to Dresden to start work as a carpenter. His dream was to go to Italy and see the famous buildings there. So in his spare time, he studied mechanics, calling himself both an artist and a mechanic, and designing not only castles and palaces, but also sketches of organs. Interesting. In 1705, age 39, he was named Dresden City Master Carpenter, although he did not even have a master carpenter's certificate. One of Bähr's main goals was to modernize the city's churches. He believed that the existing buildings did no justice to Protestant church services in particular. Again and again, we see that important architects always want to bring something new. Why is it so? Well, it's normal, you know, it's normal. You want to bring life in. You cannot just repeat what was done previously. So he wanted to modernize the city's churches. His first building was the parish church in Löschwitz area of Dresden, a building in the shape of a stretched out octagon, completed in 1708. The Dresden Orphanage Church was built around 1710, so, you know, a little more than 300 years ago, followed by the Trinity Church in that place and the Ore Mountains, 1713 in this area, Ore Mountains, 1713, 1716. Between 1709 and 1726, the Church of Forchheim was built, as well as more in Königstein, Hohenstein, God, all these little towns in Germany intimidate me with their names, and a considerable amount of housing in Dresden. I couldn't find pictures of those housing. I would have been maybe they do not exist any longer because Dresden was heavily bombed in the Second World War. But Bähr is most famous for designing the Frauenkirche in Dresden. He was given the task in 1722. In 1726, the design was approved and work began. From 1730, he became the first in Germany to go by the title of architect. While working on the Frauenkirche, Bähr also oversaw the building of that Kirche in Dresden, designed by Pöppelmann. George Bähr did not live to see the Frauenkirche completed. He died in Dresden, age 72, and was buried in the church's vaults. In 2004, a memorial was built to him in the castle at Launstein, where he learned his trade. There is a street, but I don't know where, with his name. And let's look at this most famous work by him, which was rebuilt after being heavily destroyed during the Second World War. This is the building. And I think the Germans did a great job at rebuilding it, you know. This was not an easy job, but they did it. And it looks impressive, even rebuilt. We'll see pictures also, you know, destroyed by the deadly bombings. an important church in an important city, Dresden. And it was built by this architect, George B.A., with those two things above, H.R. I have to learn once and for all. It's embarrassing. I'm a lecturer and I don't know how to pronounce a name. This is unacceptable. I love this old picture. You know, this is from 1880. So it's from 142 years ago. This is how the church looked in 1880, 142 years ago. I mean, you can tell, you know, do you see any car here? No. But the quality of the photograph is incredible, because that's why I'm able to show these details. You know, it's the building, the building as it was before it was destroyed, and you see what is around it. The city was, you know, very well configured. You know, a great European turn of the century city. This is the plan. An octagon again and again. The octagon is magical, and you know, you can very easily draw an octagon by starting with a square, and then the same square with the same side, and with the same center. You rotate at 45 degrees, and then you connect the corners, and you get the octagon. Which has a very rich symbolism. And by the way, Leonardo da Vinci loved octagon, and the octagon was very present in his sketches. He didn't build buildings, but he has, you know, a certain number of architectural studies or sketches where he does employ the octagon. This is how the building looks like now after it was rebuilt greatly, I would say. You know, considerable work here to rebuild a cathedral like this, a church. They did it, the Germans. You see how it looked like after the Second World War, and how it looks like now. Amazing transformation, isn't it? Why is it that we cannot stop having wars? Why? Why is it that Mr. Putin provoke this tragedy now? Why? Why? I don't understand. I really don't understand. He's approaching the end of his life. He claims he is a believer, you know, he goes to the church. People die every day because of him. Because of other people as well, but he has a main important role in this tragedy. And look here, you know, this is from not too long ago, you know, like less than 80 years ago, the Second World War. This is how Dresden looked like at the end of the Second World War. And this is the church that we saw pictures of in 1880, which didn't look at all like this. I guess someone has to send to the Kremlin an album with ruined buildings in the Second World War addressed to Mr. Putin. You know, make him think what he does. Look, this is Dresden at the end of the Second World War. It's death. That's what it is. And less than 80 years later, the tragedy is repeating itself with the help of enlightened leaders. Sorry about the resolution of this, but you can still see it a little bit, especially if you have better eyes than I do, and I hope you do. You saw the big, image of the plan. A good, a very important building by this architect. Please be kind and turn off the microphone unless you want to say something. Thank you. We are approaching the end of this presentation. I just showed two other churches like him. Please turn off the microphone. Thank you. So on the left, the building destroyed. I don't know, the picture was maybe in the 50s taken or so. And then on the right, you know, Dresden was part of Democratic Republic of Germany. And you see here some cars, even a Trabant. I see. Anyway, they rebuilt it beautifully. I don't know when it was rebuilt, actually. Was it rebuilt by the Democratic Germany, or probably so? But they did a great job. And here is the silhouette of this very nice city, Dresden. You know, it's possible that this was a picture from before the war. And yeah, now we look at another church. I show two more churches, smaller churches, like a village church. This one, you know, colorful and cozy. The same architect who was born on the 15th of March. I like this redness on the walls of the church. Very nice. Why shouldn't the church have sensuous color on its walls? Why not? I think brings hope and life. And I like it like this. Why should the old walls be white, even for a church? The interior is more subdued, of course, but the exterior is rewarding. Another church, 1719, 1726, so 300 years ago. I couldn't find many pictures with his work, but you know, we still paid homage to him today. This is also interesting, you know, rather almost modern because of its simplicity. Very different from the big church in Dresden, but still, I would say, a good architectural work. And a model, maybe made for St. Nicholas Day or something, you know, it's rather, maybe it's made of chocolate, white chocolate, well, part of it white. I don't know. Anyway. And now this is, I think, the last work I show, another kirche, another church. Well, no, because I couldn't find pictures. I should have remembered that the last entry was without pictures because I couldn't find them. So let's wish him happy birthday.